Start the podcast.
It started.
Start the podcast.
You start the podcast.
Say welcome to the people.
Welcome to the people.
Yeah, okay. Hey everybody, welcome to the capsule.
You can't just take over the intro.
I can take over the intro.
And if you're gonna do it right. It's what's up, everyone. Welcome to the capsule.
Oh, there's a line?
Well, that's what I say every single. It's been 190.
It's in the Insta bio now.
What's up everybody, welcome to the capsule.
Weak sauce.
Do it.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the capsule.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
There's the
A little zest.
Wow.
decibels.
How's it going, peeps? I have Jenny Lou and Talladega Nights which is her full government name.
Jeez.
In the place. How you been? What's happening? Whoever. Both.
You go first.
What's been happening? I've been having a social life, making the most of the summer. It kind of feels like summer is ending.
Potentially, although I'm about to go to Montreal and I'm hoping the sun will be good.
Oh no, you'll be fine.
nice
Oh,
summer.
your
There's like
frolicking is to come.
Yeah, there's 2 weeks left. That's not much.
Yeah,
Because September's back to school.
true. But I feel like the heat stays with us.
Yeah.
I'm in week 2 of maybe like a 2-month chunky period. So I'm just trying to.
Is in work-wise.
Yes, but in the lead up to that, I made sure to be social and get to the things that I wanted to, and I did Dylan's camp in Denmark.
Oh, how was it? I've heard good things.
Really,
mainly from him.
Good. Camps they are not underrated. They're well attended, but I just forget how special they are when you're just with the same people for consecutive days doing the same thing, not especially Dylan's, but camps where like the partying's not an aspect. As fun as that is, when that isn't there, you're really just there to train.
To work. Yeah.
And yeah, I had a really lovely time and I'm very, very proud of him.
I would love a II camp, not gonna lie.
I want to do one that's a teacher per day.
Oh, almost like a deep dive camp.
Yeah.
Sick.
And
DDC.
then also just they're in and out. Unless they want to stay. But like with camps, you've got to pay for people to be there for however many days because they're doing 90 minutes here, 90 minutes there.
That's actually a much smarter idea. Because I feel like the idea is more like they want to have one teacher each class, like spread across the days. But I feel like, if you're doing the whole thing is the deep dives anyway. But if you're doing that, it's nicer to actually spend the whole day with a teacher and then they can go.
But I'd like to do that. But honestly, I don't know how these organisers do it because they don't do it on their own. So
True.
there's that. But the outgoings are just
Wild.
insane for these internationals. But yeah, that's me. Work and play in equal measure and slowly descending into being a workhorse until mid-November.
Jeez.
Well, freelance creatives will take a booked season.
Yeah. It's a few years in a row now. I think it's since the theatre thing kicked in, it is this time of year.
Is it a theatre time of year, or what's the relevance of the year?
I guess just in my experience, it's been end of August kind of onwards. Lion, Witch and Wardrobe, that's Christmas shows, so that made sense. But I guess it's just coincidence with the play I'm doing at the minute that it's this
Just
time
happens
of
to
year
be there.
again. Yeah.
Fair.
But fun. Lion, Witch and Wardrobe's returning again, and it will be at Sadler's next summer.
Oh, let's go.
Oh, cool.
Which one? Peacock or main?
Sadler's,
main-
which is a bit weird. I'd say it is more peacocky,
Yeah,
but that
Peacock is
stage
where
is
they do
too
the-
small.
Huh, interesting.
For it.
Okay.
Okay.
Fair. We'll take it.
God damn.
Yeah, not how I saw my work getting onto that stage, but I'll take it.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, come on.
Can we go?
Yeah,
Can we review it?
yeah.
Sick.
Honestly,
And then can we review it with you here and we can discuss it?
you might not want to. If you think it's rubbish, you might feel more comfortable.
No, I've seen it.
So,
Oh, you've seen it?
you did see
Yeah.
it, didn't you?
Yeah, it was good. I liked it.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it's the only thing that I noticed with theatre, this would only be, I can only speak on it from doing Lion, Witch and Wardrobe, and I hope that it doesn't cause offence to anyone, but I also doubt that they'll watch it.
cutting it for a reel.
First run onwards, it does tend to deteriorate in quality. Deteriorate. Thank you. Thank goodness.
In what way? Like, due to what?
A touring cast is generally not
The same.
Yeah, because touring's not as attractive to people. It's a longer commitment.
Yeah, true.
Like digs and all that stuff in theatre is just like not vibes. And because it transferred, like I don't think we'll ever get a cast that as strong as the West End cast. But I think the tour was shorter and then it ended in town. I can't quite remember how it happened then, but this tour's a year. So lots of like grads and stuff. Not that grads aren't great. Grads are great.
Oh, mate.
Don't come for
but,
us.
you know, not seasoned.
Somehow that will be my fault. It's fine. Luke said, wait, what?
No, but also there has to be something about like when you create material with people and they kind of like experience it as you're making it on them. It's for sure different than learning a show that's already
true.
made
You don't
and
have as much
learning apart.
ownership maybe as well.
Yeah, or maybe as much like kind of deeper knowledge and understanding of like how the material was made and the certain qualities of this versus that.
Yes.
And then it's just like the step is there, the mark is there.
And the production generally trim the fat every time you go as well. Like they're trying to make it slimmer and easier and cheaper to tour and stay on its feet. So that does also add to your point. So yeah, it's not necessarily that it's not just based on the company. But yeah, I feel like it's just tradition that the shows kind of lose some of their zest. But please review it.
Yeah, no, I'd be happy to chat. Like, I don't think there's anything I could think about a show that I wouldn't speak. Like, if you like, I don't think there's anything that if I saw a piece of yours, that I wouldn't say to you that I felt. You know what I mean? Because also I think it's like it's easier because you're good.
Well,
It'd be harder to have those conversations.
It's not my best work.
No, but I think it's like I think we understand each other a bit more. That like. Yeah, I think I could be.
No, but I think you did a great job. Also, it's like the context of a musical that's like a family show.
Yeah, it's like it's the context of it as well.
Is like I think you did a great job.
Thanks, friend.
I was away this weekend.
Ooh,
You were.
Where were you?
saw.
Fucking Eurostar hopping like nobody's
You
business.
were, weren't you?
I was in Brussels with Simple Cypher, which is a circus and street dance company, which I've been performing
Been
with.
paying your bills for quite some time.
For like 4 years. That's our summer work basically, is touring festivals and performing, mostly outdoor touring, outdoor performance stuff. I perform with Kieran Warner a lot, although not exclusively with him, because now there's multiple casts, multiple shows, and we travel and, you know, do different bits depending on who's available. And we went to a festival in a small town outside of Brussels, which was actually freaking lovely.
Yeah.
Really nice. It was like, because some of the stuff that we do is like it's like in a town centre or somewhere where it's like passers-by, especially in England, where they're like, what the fuck's this? And then this was like an actual purpose-built festival where people were coming because they knew a show was there. The crowd is like some of the biggest crowds I think we've done. It's not, you know, like main stage Saddlers necessarily, but it's like at least 300-400 were there.
good.
Amazing.
For an outdoor show that's free to come watch. It was like,
great.
oh damn. Like we saw everyone, because also the thing is usually when we're at a public site, you tend to get more people because loads of people just see it happening and stop. And by the end, you're like, oh, there's actually quite a big audience.
Right.
And then when there's like a place that's like out of, like if we're in a field at the back of a thing, we're like, oh, the audience might be smaller because it's down to the advertising that people have to know it's happening at 4 or whatever.
Right.
So this one, we were like in a field behind some buildings and we're like, okay, let's see. And then it was, there's just like a line. I should have filmed it, but like, just like a line of people coming and we were like, oh, damn. And then they just filled up and we're like, okay, well, they came out
There's
today.
people.
So those were fun. It's always like, not easy, but it's like, I've been doing the show for 4 years, so I know it inside out. I don't even really have to rehearse it or go over anything. Only when we switch cast and I'm playing a slightly different role or whatever. but it's just I get to like it's kind of the fun of doing a show for a while. Like, I get to lean into it, and I get to like play and try new things just for the fun of it. I'm just like, what if I tried the solo like this, or what if I did this in whatever, make this kid laugh or whatever. So that's quite nice. And it's
do you have to do any trickery?
Juggling, yeah. Like the whole first section is like we have 3 balls between the 3 of us, but we're like doing lots of like threads and stuff. So
right.
it's not really juggling that part. It's more like, you know, someone might throw it over and I have to catch it, put it on his knee, that type of thing.
It's giving ping pong.
Yes. You know, I can't talk about that. The episode after telling everyone not to pile on making fun of dancers. Absolutely. But I want to so much.
Oh yeah.
The ping pong set, just, what is that? But yeah, to that, and then we did. There's like a juggling section where I have to just do a very simple thing for them, but for me it's quite hard. But that's it really, and then just mostly dancing. Besides that, and then I went from Brussels to Paris,
specifically for.
Yes, that actually. So basically, I did an interview. It was on my Insta story, so cat's out of the bag. But I did an interview with Canon, who, for people that don't know, is quite a well-established hip hop dancer from when I first started. He was like one of the guys I would look up to. He's in that kind of generation from Paris. And he started a battle called Fusion Concept, which is now absolutely freaking huge. They're doing their 15th anniversary this year. And basically we had some conversations with them because basically they kind of reached out to see if we wanted to come and cover the festival.
Insane.
Which was so cool. Just to basically for them to even know that we exist, and let alone to be like, you know, there's a access all areas here if you want to come and cover it. And unfortunately I'm going to be at Jack of all trades, although not unfortunately because it's going to be sick. But I said to them I'm not here because I'm in Montreal, but
train me up.
Fuck, that would have been good. I mean, you can still go. Like, the thing is, it's not like they weren't hiring us. It was more like, if you want to come,
go.
So I mean, if you do want to go, I can definitely put you in contact.
I will check the dates. That would be amazing.
Yeah, we could definitely sort that out if you do want to go. I know people love when we have our business meetings on camera. But yeah, so basically I said, instead of that, because I can't be there, could we do something outside of the festival? In the lead up. So and they were like, oh yes, great idea. So I said, if I come to Paris, could I do an interview with Canon like before the festival? And they were like, yeah, definitely, blah, blah, blah. So he very graciously gave his time as well. And I went from Brussels to Paris. I met him at this like venue and we did an interview kind of talking about the festival, which was really cool because I've never met him before either. And it was nice to like chat with him. And it's like, it kind of just adds to the bucket list type of interviews of like, oh, these are all people that I never, like when I was like 17, 18, I never thought I'd even meet them, let alone, you know, sit down and have chats with and stuff. And so that was really cool. And then I was like, well, I'm in Paris. I've got a few hours to kill. Let me just send some texts, be like, who's free? And I got to sit down and do an interview with our good friend Joker, who is not called Joker anymore.
No.
I discovered it's Rockage.
It
Rockage.
is.
Rockage.
It's like a
he flipped the
okay. Why? Did you talk about it? Do I have to listen to the podcast?
I would appreciate if you did listen to the podcast. No, but we spoke
find
about
out the story.
No, I mean, it's not like I'm not spoiling. It's not a big spoiler, but it's just he was kind of in a stage where he's like, Joker was like his battle name, and he built that, and it's a thing, and it's like Joker from Batman, like it's a thing. So he was just kind of like
wanting to detach.
Yeah, I want to like have a fresh start, clean break, and just kind of like have something that I can attach meaning to, and it doesn't already have a story, you know.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, we had a great chat. I was super happy. I mean, again, it's in the pod, but like what I was saying to him at the end is kind of like, this is spoiler alert, but I was just saying to him, like, first of all, I was just, you know, giving him compliments, and I think he's done.
I bet you were.
I was trying to play it cool, all right? No, but I was like, you know, I think especially following on, and this could be our segue to RayGun, but especially following on from the RayGun stuff, I was kind of like, you know, there's so many people that are quick to like say it if they have negative opinions or negative feelings, and type negative YouTube comments and blah, blah, blah. And one thing that we had spoke about was like, if I love something, I don't comment it or I don't tell people. It's like I
Right.
try to, and I think I'm maybe better at it than a lot of people. But even still, I'll be to Jen like, oh, this thing fucking changed my life. And like, that's the benefit of the pod is like I do try and gas stuff up and like crystal pie or whatever. Like, you know, not that I don't think she'll ever hear that, but you know, you never know if it could get back to someone. But I mean, I didn't think Marley Hightower would have seen you. Did I say this story? No. She that was very
No.
yeah, I did a review of her Blackbird when we were doing.
Oh, yeah.
What was the other thing that I did that week? Oh, the somebody that I used to know. I did that and Blackbird because when I posted that I was going to do a review of that one, somebody sent me her one and was like, "Oh, you should check this one too." So I did it, posted it. I don't even think I cut it as a clip.
I don't think you did,
It was
actually.
in the pod, right? And then I saw her at World of Dance, and then she was like, "Hey," and then like because I was with people that she knew, she said hi, and then she stopped and she was like, "Oh, I know you. I've seen your videos. You did a review of my Blackbird thing," and I was like, "Oh, sick." All that to say is like you never know who's gonna. And then immediately I was like, "Shit, did I say I liked it or not?" But I did, so that's fine. But all that to say is you never know who's going to hear it, and if it's positive, even more so because it's like, you know, there's some stuff that's like, I don't want to say change my life, but like there are some people that have changed my life, but like some pieces or some moments or whatever who have like really influenced me and, you know, made me kind of who I am and inspired me. And it's like, I would just say it to Jen or you and never tell them. And it's like, imagine if that was you and your art had that effect on someone.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm just like, I'm kind of making more of an effort to be like, tell people when they have an impact on me, say it, or even like write YouTube comments. I find it super weird still because I feel like one of those losers that types stupid. Oh, we've had some. Did you see the thing I posted?
I did, yeah.
I want to read the comments actually because they're fucking hilarious, some of them. But like, there's so many people that type negative comments so that when I go to type, I'm like, am I being a loser as well? But like, I try and like write like a nice comment if I really feel strongly about something, whether it's a piece or whatever, because I'm like, let me at least balance all the assholes that are going to come here and cuss this if they don't like it. If I actually feel it, I'm not going to lie. But if I actually feel it, I'm going to say it.
Yeah, and if you want people to engage, then you should engage.
Yeah, that's true also.
I very rarely comment on YouTube things for some reason.
I don't think I've ever
I've only started doing it since I realized like how much it
helps.
Yeah, or like, how many people comment negatively or because like when people comment stuff, you know, also guys who are listening, I don't know why I'm pointing because you can't see me. Guys who are listening, they've introduced comments on Spotify now. So if you are listening on Spotify, please leave us a comment. Few people have, thank you. They've all been lovely. And anyway, all this to say about Joker, I was just giving him his flowers basically because he's someone that's really like inspired me, not necessarily in the way I move or anything, because I feel like, and again, we spoke about this, but like we were both looked up to similar people. He just got way better than me. But just like he inspired me of like, for quite a few different reasons as an artist. And I was just like, it's so nice to be able to fucking sit down with people and tell them like, you know, yeah, you inspired me or you're dope or whatever. So it was nice for that reason. And yeah, just a long, like, we've had chats like online and stuff. Sound like fucking online dating, but yeah, it was nice to actually sit down with him, get another couple of big name interviews.
Big name.
Come on, big names.
And the
deep dive will happen.
Oh God, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there with bells on.
Bells on. Well, I'll have organised it, but I will be taking part.
Oh yeah,
with full investment.
The three of us need to do a pod.
Yes,
for the deep dive.
Oh, Caitlin is back in October.
Oh,
she wants
sick.
more business chats that we're having. Yeah. But hey, Caitlin Watson will be here.
This is what the comments are for.
Whoa.
And pod in.
Wait,
when did you say
in Montreal?
Didn't you say October?
Yes. No, I'm back on the 4th of September.
Okay, great.
And also, who's the other one? Caitlin. Ema. Marley said she's coming back at some point, so that would be good to do one with her as well. But yeah, I feel like it would be cool to have you, especially with choreo people. Anyway, so I got those done, and yeah, I'm gonna do also. This is the last thing on that. I'm gonna do some pods in collaboration with Jack of All Trades.
Jeez.
So we're gonna be out there. Obviously, we'll cover the festival as best we can, but mostly we're gonna
enjoy the festival.
I'm gonna just be there to enjoy, but I'll review it when I get back and talk about it. But yeah, we're definitely gonna do pods out there. So who they're with is up in the air a little bit, but I think they're gonna be some fucking bangers.
How have you been?
Woo! I've been great. I've been very busy. You know how
I saved you for last because I know you've got a whole topic surrounding it.
Yeah, I have many topics.
Okay.
But you know how you were saying like, oh yeah, I knew it was gonna be really busy, so I gave myself some time to live my life. I knew I was gonna be really busy, so then I figured time to do all my work now before I get really busy. So I've not had a summer. I've not enjoyed myself. I have not been relaxed.
You've enjoyed laying them freelance foundations.
That's right.
It's so weird because you've been such a pleasure to be around.
Wow.
I don't know how you manage that.
Anyways, in news, before I get into my main topic contribution, is that I just started a new job today.
This is what we need the
I don't know this, do I?
No.
Fun.
I just started a new job at Rambert.
I didn't know.
But you knew.
I didn't know, but I knew.
So I just started a new job at Rambert. It's a project producer job, which is really cool, I think, because they have a lot of different projects happening with the company throughout the year. And they've decided to try this new model of, instead of like trying to put everything on one person in-house, is to kind of have an executive and then have producers that handle the different projects. So it's amazing because it's a freelance part-time contract is like quite long. So it's perfect in a sense that, you know, it's like challenging, it's exciting. Obviously, Rambert is also like a pretty iconic company. And yeah, so working within an organization on a production is also like an experience that is gonna feed into my already existing bag of experiences. But so that's new for me. And then I went to Hamburg last week. I was there to visit a venue called Kampnagel.
Is that how you say that? Great.
What, Kampnagel?
Yeah.
How did you think you
I
said
have
it?
no idea. I was
You
just
just
saying all
saw
sorts of
words and you were
German.
like, German.
No.
Yeah. Could be anything.
So as part of my launch into being a freelance producer, I am especially interested in supporting artists that come from hip hop, street dance background. And I've been kind of doing some research on festivals and venues in Europe that are programming hip hop artists. And that are kind of really pushing it and supporting artists, either like from Europe or from their own city. And then I've been seeing Kampnagel pop up quite a bit over the past year or so. Like they had Just Debout Gold there. I mean, I have good friends in Hamburg, so I think there's also that reason why it popped up. But I kind of kept on seeing like different artists presenting their work there. So I was curious about it. And then I saw that they were having a summer festival. So I decided to go last week, and Ivan had the international premiere of Trap Lord. And you know, one thing that I have to say that I was like, so that week, the 3 shows that were on was Saido Lelou, who's a French b-boy, used to dance with Wayne Ramirez, used to have Black Sheep.
I was just talking to Joker about him and Joanna.
Yeah.
That ran. Oh, interesting.
And then there was also an American choreographer that choreographed a Pansula piece.
I need to go change my jumper because it's too hot.
Okay. Oh. How are you going to do that?
Like this.
Oh. Straight up disruption.
Okay, bye. Yep.
So yeah, I really like, it's interesting to see venues program hip hop and like kind of more freestyle, you know, improv based dances without it being like, it's a hip hop festival.
Yes.
But it's just part of their season.
Yes.
Or it's just part of their program. So I was quite curious to see and kind of visit. And it's such a dope venue. 6 theaters.
Oh, wow.
And it's a little bit like industrial looking. Imagine the Yard, but like huge scale, and also like amazing infrastructure, amazing rigs, like kind of full, like they're all black box theaters. But it's kind of that industrial look.
You said 6 theaters in one.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's huge.
Damn. Actually, I'm gonna look it up.
And yeah, and it was like, you know, I was curious to see also what the audiences look like, you know, for like even Saido's piece or Ivan's piece or whatnot. And it was packed every night.
Nice.
Like Saido was 800 people, that theater.
Oh, so they were like different theaters each night were being used.
Well, it was like, because they have 6 theaters, it was like there are some nights that would overlap, but it's like Saido's show was at 7, Ivan's show was at 9:30, so you could see
so like festival vibes, kind of like. Is that kind of what it was?
Yeah, it was.
Sorry, did I miss
it's
that?
their like summer international festival.
Ah, okay, sick. That's really cool.
Yeah, and also it was so amazing to see you know, they're all rooted in street dance, but 3 completely different approaches, completely different
full
performances.
length works, all of them.
Oh, Linda Hayford was.
Yeah, she was in it.
Oh right, I thought she choreographed it with him.
No, well, I don't think so. Well, I think she's part of their collective called Phare.
Okay.
Which is like there's 6 choreographers, artists that are, I believe, artistic directors of the like a institution in France, like a Centre Chorégraphique in Brittany.
Okay.
So I think she might have been part of that. Like, I think she is part of that collective. I think they both are, and she danced in his piece.
You know the popper Iron Mike? Have you heard of him? His sister.
Got you.
She presented a work at Brixton House.
She's really sick, like artist and a popper as well.
Yeah.
She's in Paradoxal.
Yeah. But yeah, so was great to see all 3 of those pieces. And I have to say, I was, you know, I feel like, I mean, I could talk about the performances themselves, but before I get into it, I have to say I was really pleasantly surprised at the like really warm welcome and like approachability or of the whole like leadership team and just the whole team that worked there. And it's so rare to see programmers and curators that are our age,
right? Wow,
and really diverse,
right?
And really kind of reflective of like the like not of our generation, but of like different voices. We had a meeting with like the curator for the summer festival and the curator for dance of their normal program, and then the head artistic director of like the whole venue just came to sit with us and have a coffee and chat. And it's like, for me, it's just so rare that these things happen, like that, you know, an artistic director from a major venue would just be like, oh, I don't know who these 2 girls are, but let me just sit down and ask them questions and, you know, see what they're about and what they're interested in. And like, I just feel like it's such an unusual experience. And
which is a shame.
Yeah, it should happen more.
Yeah, but also like big props to the team at Kampnagel. They were super friendly. I would definitely recommend checking out their program. They have a bunch of opportunities also for like international residencies.
Nice.
Sick.
They've supported a bunch of, you know, street dance choreographers to create work.
Nice.
And, you know, we talked to them, and their whole ethos is about, like kind of investing in artists. So yeah, it was great. It was also amazing to see Trap Lord in its international debut.
Without all the bells and whistles of 180.
Yeah. Right. So it was like a stripped back version. So there was like some light kind of some lights that were at the back of the theater, but there were no LED screens, no set.
Oh, so it's just the movement.
Yeah.
And the like spoken word rap stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think it changed a little. I don't remember the I remember the version from 180.
But not exactly.
I feel like there's some things that I've like changed order or.
Did you see it at Breaking Convention?
Yeah.
Closer to that vibe?
Yeah. Oh no, this year you mean? Oh no, I didn't see it. But it was probably, it wasn't really far off 180 in terms of like the content.
Right.
There wasn't any part that I was like, that is completely new. But like I was telling Ivan, I like not almost prefer the stripped back version, but it is such a like intense show, and there is so much like to take in that not having other elements doesn't like take away, you know, and
there's still enough there.
Yeah, and they found other clever ways of integrating some of what the screens were doing in like with bodies.
Yes, nice.
So I didn't feel like, oh, I missed the screen, or like the screen is kind of giving me something that I'm not getting here.
Yeah.
So I thought because of that, there was like a little bit less different things to take in. So it made it like, I don't know, I received it like differently, but also it was my second time like you can only see something for the first time once, so you become biased afterwards.
Yes.
But no, I was super happy. It was like really, really well received, like from a majority middle-aged white German audience. But you know, people,
the liberal kind.
Yeah, but people were really open and like like standing ovation at the end. So yeah, that was really, really nice to see, and I was just, you know, it's so nice to see people from the UK, and especially friends of
the show.
Yes,
like out there doing their thing, and then they're doing summer dance next week.
Yes, which
and then they're doing Manchester soon. So you know, after I think like 180, it's like although having a 3-week run for a dance show is like very rare, I think like there was a period that was more quiet, so it's nice to see it out and like picking some momentum up. So well done to the whole Trap Lord crew.
On the programming front, really quickly, because I know you might have been waiting to segue for
no, not necessarily.
I was just on the panel selecting the people for Resolution 25.
Ooh, did I get in?
You didn't apply.
Oh yeah, sure. That's the first step.
There were 187 applicants, of which I know personally 6 and max 10 are people like that I know of. All that to say, less than 10% were from street or Afro styles.
Yep.
They are so open to programming street and Afro styles. So if you've ever looked at the Resolution application and thought that's not for me, like it's at the place, it's a contemporary thing, it's not me challenging that, because on the face of it, that would be a valid reaction, but you are so welcome to be there, and I think that you should go for it. Not for 2025. We're talking about 2026 now. That's closed. The selections have been made, but yeah, I was quite surprised. I thought there would have been a
more.
Yeah, I thought so. But yeah, I made damn sure every one that I knew of was. I mean, I was kind of there for that reason, because I wanted to get the artists alum in there. But yeah, I'm really excited for the program. It is a bit of a mixed bag. Like some of the I was like, if I see one more retelling of Orpheus, yeah, and many a fusion. But yeah, it was really lovely outside of the artists alum to see the applications that I did see from people that I know, and yeah, hopefully in the years to come there'll be more and we take up some more space there.
And not that I want to encourage you to be pissed off, I do. Do you want to talk about Shift while you're here?
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
Oh right.
Because I was like, speaking of applying for stuff,
speaking of that, yeah, I think I sounded a little bit more pissed in my story than I intended to. Yeah, I was more annoyed the first year. So I applied for Dancers Career Development's retraining grant in late 2020, I think. And it's for dancers that are starting to kind of phase out of their performing career and to explore other things. Ola will have spoken about it.
Francesca did it, Joelle.
Oh yeah,
Vanessa.
that shift specifically, isn't it?
Yes, sorry, yeah.
But the offering, well, actually, it is quite a plumped up version of the retraining grant. All that to say, when you apply, or when I applied, it asks you if you've been a member of this list of companies, and they're all ballet and contemporary ones. And you can put none, but it is a bit like, does this count against me? And you have to share that you have 6 years of performance experience, which luckily I did, but I just fed back to my exec director at Zoo at the time that it felt a bit exclusive and like othering and would probably put people off. Also, in COVID year, when no one had anything to do, they were overwhelmed with applicants, and the applicants were in the 20s.
Right.
They were like, we've never had this many. I'm like, wow, how many? 28. So it's an underused resource for sure. All that to say, Shift now exists for hip hop artists specifically. So like battles count, teaching counts, like it's just a wider spectrum, and it includes like their mentoring scheme and just a whole bag of really, really good things. And the year that we launched it, I think a week before applications closed, we had like 0 applicants. And I know that not every story share, post share gets seen, but I don't know how much, and I am going to sound a bit smoky now, but well, I don't know how much of an excuse that is now.
What? That you didn't see?
So you didn't see it on Instagram. Like you don't rely on Instagram to get all your goods. Like I maybe do or have done, but I definitely won't be complaining about not knowing about things. Like if you want to know about things, like Google, like talk to people, I think, outside of your little bubble maybe. And chances are that we know people in positions outside of our bubble too that may know things. But like if you are socially averse, Google
is your friend.
Even in terms of like funding and stuff, like you can literally put in like dancing grants and like a whole heap of things will come up, not necessarily that you're applicable for, but you'll see that so much is available. And yeah, that happened again this go round. They extended the deadline. To be honest, I'm assuming because of low uptake. I don't actually know this to be true, but the point still stands that there is quite a lot of complaining about resources, and it's not a perfect ecosystem and culture by any means, but there are lots of resources
that aren't being taken advantage
taken
Yeah,
advantage
and
of.
at the end of the day, it's also like, well, if there are resources and there's like 3 applications, then at some point they're going to run it for X amount of years and be like, you know what? There's not really applications. There's other people that could, like, that would actually, like where 28 people would apply.
Especially when some of us, and don't get me wrong, I'm not like leading the charge here, but, you know, I voiced my opinion in hindsight. Like I'd got my money. Like I didn't need to voice a concern about it. Sri didn't then need to go to them and be like, hey, got this feedback, shall we do something about it? Like there are people taking the time to create bespoke things. It's not just that things exist, there are things that specifically exist for us. And if we don't take advantage, as Jen says, like they will plow the money back into the things that they
are getting a return from.
And they don't have as much money. Some of these organizations aren't rolling in it the way that you might think that they are. They have to be really not careful, but very considered and really choosing between things that get their money. So it really does count on us to use it, like use it or lose it vibes. So I think it might be closed now.
I can look it up.
No, I think it was in September it closed.
Oh.
I feel it's like September 9th or something like that.
And if that is the case, like it could, like, I want to learn to DJ. Like it doesn't need to be when I retire from dancing, I want to, and you need to be really specific about that. It's like, what are you curious?
Yeah, it's like investing.
Shall I read out the details that they have?
Yeah, go for it.
So the scheme details: the successful applicants will receive a grant of up to £2,000 to be used towards retraining or exploring a different career. Be a part of DCD's Beyond Dance mentoring program powered by Moving Ahead, designed to give dance artists the opportunity to create connections and networks outside of the dance sector. One-to-one personal professional development and career transition coaching. Access to Zoo Nation and DCD's expertise and people. Peer-to-peer support. The application deadline is open until Monday the 9th of September.
Jeez, I have a good memory.
Shift is an exciting career exploration opportunity for hip-hop artists funded by Zoo Nation, the Cape Prince Company, and Dancers Career Development. Beautiful.
Boom.
Sick.
Yeah. Do it.
Check out Shift. What else? What else is we're gonna briefly jump back to the RayGun topic. Ooh. I mean, I feel like the storm is somewhat past at the moment, although she probably doesn't feel that.
Has it?
Yeah.
I think the initial shock has passed, but I'm still seeing.
No, but I think the memes and stuff are there, and they're gonna live beyond that. But I just think the whole. I mean, it's always the case, with these things. We'll move on to the next.
Which thing. Further. Not adds fuel to the fire, but it's
Literally.
just also is more a case of what was that all for?
I was going to look at the comments.
Keep the, and if it's that important,
yeah.
Why are you no longer talking about it? Oh, because no one else is talking about it.
Exactly.
So it didn't matter in the first place. Oh, okay then.
So I don't know if you saw the pod.
So pissed I wasn't here last week.
That was what we should have.
Yeah, that one would have gotten you real worked up.
I would have.
I got some good feedback from our
no, it was great
segment on that.
It was great.
Yeah, people said that they liked the conversation, and Jo Reed said she got some messages from lecturers and stuff that had listened, that had tuned in because they wanted to hear, and they said it was really good. There was a few.
Come on, shout out UEL people.
What are you looking for?
Basically there's a thread that one of the two people that were on the pod when we did the long one about personal training and stuff.
Yes.
She said, the lady Nisi said, people don't let me start that again. Most people genuinely don't care about breaking or dance. Complaining is still a form of entertainment. That's why people who aren't a part of the scene continue to disparage it. They don't want change. They just want to be entertained, which is really true. And I think that's kind of what I was getting at last week, where it's these people don't care. They're not saying it because they're when they're saying, oh, breaking's not an Olympic sport. And then there's people going, well, yeah, because actually it's just save your energy. They're just people that want to bitch about something. It's when we say, oh, Marvel is shit these days. Not the popper, the film.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I was wow, hot take. No, that was so confused.
Marvel
who's saying that?
Marvel is still very, very, very good at popping. Check his recent UDO judge demo for evidence. When we're saying Marvel, the movies are shit these days. If there was a filmmaker that's well, actually, if you check the writing and the way the structure of the script, it's I just want to bitch about a movie that was, you know what I mean? I'm not
yes,
actually caring in a filmmaking way. And that's what people are doing with this. But I do want to read some of the YouTube comments because they're so funny. And just, you know what it is just the confidence that people comment with it just makes me laugh so much. Yeah, somebody put here's a great one. Somebody put literally this: nope, comma, no, comma, no.
Nope.
That was their response.
Nope.
Nope, no. Someone said, do your research. Her husband was a judge at the qualifiers. And then Kanfu replied saying, pretty ironic considering you didn't do your own research and just stated a lie. And then someone else put, I just did my research. Her husband wasn't one of the judges.
I saw from I assume it stands for Australian Olympic Association.
Yep, AOC.
Them and WDSF,
they put a joint
literally statements from the bodies that did things and know all the things. It would just disparaging all the myths and literally, why was her husband a judge? It's you're literally going to every post that mentions her and just typing it without even necessarily even reading
just
what's
insane.
going on. Insane.
Yeah, this is just shows this is what the world is like. One of my favorite YouTube comments, because we had said basically, shall I say mine first? Or you?
Yeah, go.
one of the points I made last week for those that didn't listen was that like the amount of like investment and money going into the breaking scene in the States, for example, and Europe is like way higher than maybe somewhere like
Other
Australia.
places,
Not only I wasn't actually saying I don't think that the Olympic Committee were putting loads of money in. I'm saying like Reebok or Nike or whatever, they're sponsoring that. Red Bull are giving these people places to train and money and all that. Anyway, someone commented saying, "What do you mean America put in lots of money into their dancers? Really, I don't think any country." This is the first half of it, which is hilarious. "I don't think any country spent more than Australia. For the Olympic breaking, you've got like Europe, you've got the French, you've got the Japanese, you've got the Chinese, you've got the Americans, and you think no country spent more on their breakers than Australia. That alone is hilarious." But then they said it ended up costing Australian taxpayers $25 million to spend one boy and one girl, to send one boy and one girl.
Did you do the conversion of what that even means?
No, but 25 million Australian dollars.
It's like millions.
It is millions. Yeah. Okay, fair.
I'd be surprised if it's million.
We're not talking pesos.
Yeah. So anyway, that's wild. But yeah, the YouTube commenters are the best, and those are people that commented on TikTok and stuff like that. It's just so blunt, confrontational, and so confident, which is just like,
yeah, considering how misinformed they are.
And you know what makes me laugh even more? Remember in the pandemic when people were panic buying toilet paper?
Yes.
I put a thread or a tweet or something that people laughed at, but I said like, I for sure know people that panic bought toilet paper. They just don't admit it around me. Mm-hmm. I also for sure know people that comment like that on YouTube. They just keep it to themselves. Right. Like I'm sure there's people that I know in my friend that are like, yeah, that's so weird, and then they're doing it to their favorite. Like, no, you don't do that. No, I'll break up with you right now.
Can you imagine? I'll leave you right now.
But anyway, what were you gonna say?
I had a point about people like me or like us that were like, leave this poor lady alone. That I think the whole thing's really interesting when it's closer to home. And this is closer to home as like the scene, but like, I don't know this lady. You're not wrong that I'd be 1 or 2 degrees of separation away from her, but I did think about where's that empathy when we're posting that lady that falls down the stairs kind of thing. Yeah. Like if we share strangers' misfortunes without a thought, which I'm sure a lot of us do, there's also something to think about there if we're shooting down everyone that's shared memes of her. They don't know her, they're not attached to that topic, and I'm not attached to that person that, you know, is ice skating and then like slips and falls on their ass. I've had this thought around sharing things. I don't think I've made it a hard and fast rule, but I have considered like, if the person's the butt of the joke and it's their video, then obviously fair game. But yeah, I've thought that for a while. There's a book called So You've Been Publicly Shamed that I would encourage people to read. That it's around the psychology of all of this. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting thing to think about, so that, you know, the people that have been criticizing the critics don't seem so holier than thou and over there, because I just don't think that we're all as innocent and free of like dirt in this as we may think we
100%. It's wild, the response to it, and like the defense of the response to it, and like there's so many things that I saw that are like wild.
Also, you know what it makes me think, it's like, okay, because people are saying so many random, like the 25 million pound, or like so many so much misinformation or wrong facts. But this is like, because we're part of that community, and we know we have insight to be like, that's not true, that's not real, that person is lying, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, what about when it's stuff about science that like I don't have the insider information? It's like there's so many people that look, not that look legit, but it's like there's people that might look like they have an informed opinion and they're just talking absolute bollocks. So it just made me,
every subject really.
But it's like, the internet really is a wild place, and you can't trust any fact, but like check your sources.
Check your sources somewhere other than.
Yeah.
Then the comment section.
I said I said this
Instagram.
last week, but I'm actually not so mad at the general public. I think that's part of it. Like, if you're going to be on a big world stage, it's like you do kind of sign up to, you know, they can have
Exposing
fun
yourself.
with stuff, and like, you know, there's so many things that have gone viral from various sports. Like, I mean, there's something in the NBA that goes viral every other week because someone reacted funny or like whatever, or, you know, did a mistake, or, you know, and but it's like they sign up for it. They're in the NBA, they're, you know, public figures. And also I think it's like, I think the thing for the RayGun stuff is like, if it's to make jokes about these things that look funny out of context, cool. Like, I'm not mad at that because they do look funny out of context, and some of them look funny in context. But it's like when it becomes like mean, that's where I find it weird and where it crosses the line.
Jimmy Fallon not bringing out.
Yeah.
Didn't US win bronze?
No.
Bronze,
For what?
Yeah,
In the men's.
For the men's,
they're
yeah.
breaking, right?
Yeah.
That whole thing would have been so different tonally. Was it Victor?
Yeah.
If they'd brought Victor out and like he'd done something, you know, like, hey, lady, and then he'd done something that celebrated that their country has
Medal
winning Olympic, like, misfires aplenty.
I mean, Victor went on Sway, which is dope.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
That's very
And
cool.
he gave her a nice answer, which then everyone proceeded to try and cuss in the comments.
Really?
But Sway asked him about RayGun, and he kind of said, like, the long and short of it was he basically said, like, it's great for breaking. Like, the whole world is now looking at breaking, and you know, it brings attention to the people that were dope.
And more about the Olympics
Yeah.
is what we were speaking about before of highlighting
Got to cue me up a bit more than that. before I can jump in.
highlighting a b-boy that shared something really special on Instagram.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
right.
yes.
That's a tally cue. That's not a me cue.
Both of you.
Oh,
cute.
I'll
fair.
pull it up.
Remind me of his name though.
Amir.
So
Do you want me to set up who he is?
that
Amir
would be helpful for everybody.
He's a motherfucking gangster.
Okay.
He is dope as fuck. He won BC1 last year when it was in Paris, I want to say. He is from, I believe, Kazakhstan. Yeah, but it says Paris on his bios. Maybe he lives in Paris now. Really dope b-boy. From what I hear and he's like a monster. Like, you know, he's really good. And from what I hear from breakers that I've spoken to is that his like thing is like you never know what's coming next. Like he's always twisting in a different direction or moving in a direction that's like, oh, I didn't see that coming. Which is one thing if you're a popper, let alone if you're upside down holding your body weight.
The commentators were really funny during his.
I thought the commentators did great. But
round,
anyway,
no, during his
yeah,
rounds. So just like the just really abstract stuff from Amir. Like they were really like, I don't have the terminology for what he's doing.
What is that called, sir? I don't know if you want to.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I don't know who wouldn't have been moved by seeing it really, but there's a photo of Amir in a t-shirt, and he speaks about, I should just read it so I'm not paraphrasing, on December 11th, trigger warning, death is discussed here. I don't know what.
Best
That's how
trigger
they
warning
work, isn't
Trigger
it?
warning, death.
Dark cloud.
That should be a fucking
Dark
gif.
cloud,
Yeah.
rain. On December 11th, 2019, a fire broke out in the house where I spent my childhood. Grandfather died in his sleep. My father died in the hospital 13 days later. 80% of the body was burned. I took this photo from a t-shirt when 4 years later I dared to enter this house. I can't say he was a good father. Because of his mistakes, I went through too many scary moments in my childhood. That's what I'm dancing about. He loved this song. It's been in me too long. I forgive you, Dad. From now on, my thoughts and my art will be brighter. And the slides are a photo of the t-shirt, a photo of inside the house, and that is what's on the t-shirt. He's overlaid a song that his dad liked on top of his round, like beautiful classical instrumental song, rounds, and photos of him and his dad and him and his granddad. And if there was a post, it's got 13,000 likes, so it has been seen and engaged with. But if there was opposed to counter and, for want of a better word, shit on the foolishness that was the RayGun debacle. It is that. That it's nothing to do with how many points or what the judges thought, and that is what Olympics and breaking as a sport kind of has to involve, but that's what art is for us, or it can be that if we allow it to be. And for him to take that platform, and not that he did away with the sport aspect of it, but to still use that as a means of channeling anything personal, let alone that, like such heavy stuff. I was really, really touched by it, and I think it's a really honourable thing that he did, and he should be really proud of himself. And also just like, thank you for sharing that story as well as the art that went with it, because big wow.
Yeah, and I think it's really nice that you say that, because it's also like, as much as maybe we don't express it as much in this side of the scene, I think that is something that people are familiar with in the sense of like, I know from the outside battles feel like, and I've heard the criticism from people that have like come in and gone back out of the scene or never went into the scene and are kind of like, oh, it's too competitive and there's too much ego and there's too much testosterone, blah, blah, blah. Yes, valid. But also there are a lot of moments like that the more you dig deeper. And it kind of full circle to like the point of the capsule and sharing the conversations on here, but it's like, you don't really know about them unless you know about them. And thank God for Amir, sharing that, and it's really fucking beautifully written. But, I think that is something that people who are in love with the battle scene find more often than not. There are people that have reasons for doing what they do. Not, it doesn't always have to be as deep as or as sad as something like that. It could just be the personal wins, or even we spoke about Vanessa's like, did you hear that? Yeah, breaking her arm, and it's like those are the moments that it's not really the wins, it's not really the ego, it's not really the testosterone. That's side, that's for some people, of course, but I think it's like those are the things that like make you really fall in love with what we do. And it's nice for you to know, because Tally brought that up off the pod before. It wasn't something that I said, let's talk about. It's like she brought it. And I think coming from a scene where, especially your sect, I don't know if that's the right word to use. It sounds like something I describe a cult, but it is a sect is the right word, right? Yeah. Your sect of the choreo scene are very in touch with their feelings and very open with the connection between art and the personal life and the personal aspects of it, which I love. And I've gained a lot from stepping into your world a little bit, but it's so nice that you see that and recognize that from our scene. Cause it's like, I don't know, it's just, I didn't even think about it until you said it. And I'm like, yeah, there is a lot of, a lot of moments like that and a lot of reasoning behind why people do stuff more than, and that's why I think I get my back up so much, or I get defensive when people do almost like, not cheapen it, but speak about the battle scene as if it's like, oh, you lot are there just because you're like male driven egos that want to and it's like, no, it's like, you could look at Amir, he's a fucking beast, doesn't smile, doesn't like, he's just there to smoke people, and you could look at him and be like, oh yeah, just like another guy that wants to be a breaker, and you know what I mean? And that's what's beneath it.
If like theatre is the appropriate platform for expression of that kind, like we've all just found different the courage to do it slash like really the courage to do it with the resources and context that we have. And if we even go back to the street dance in a studio and like the whole choreo dancer thing that happened, where would we have been? mid 2000s, early 10s. It's like that, well, that was our forum, that we are looking at our reflection to learn, but like that's where we were expressing that stuff. And also the extra layer of courage that it takes, and he's not alone in doing this, but what I for sure don't share what's driving my movement. I think you can tell that it's tied to
something,
a feeling or something. It doesn't have to be something that happened, but it's where I am or have been. But I think to tie it to a specific event and like let us in on that is huge. Especially like he would have seen everything that was happening, so to like put that in
a vulnerable
that
thing,
noise, when everyone, you know, however many degrees away from break-in, just suddenly had something to say about it. I just think it was a really beautiful thing.
Shout out Amir.
Yeah, what a beast.
Any of the other bits that we didn't cover from, I don't know, Olympic land or anything like that?
London Battle.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah,
so you didn't want to
sorry.
do work, so you brought your
Don't do
lighter and
that.
matches to the event. Is that what
Basically.
it was? Yeah.
I put a fork in the microwave.
So Jenny was microwaving her lunch, and no,
Forgot to take the fork out of my Tupperware.
no, what actually happened?
Yeah, so London Battle was meant to happen Saturday. There was a fire at Somerset House.
Before you criticize us for laughing, nobody was hurt. Everything
Yeah.
is safe. It's all good.
whole
That's why
building-
we're making jokes.
The whole building was evacuated when the fire was,
In its infancy.
yeah.
Not how you describe a fire.
Yeah.
So it means that the event got cancelled on the day. It did not take place because obviously it took, it was a major fire. It was on the news.
yeah, it was. When you said there's a fire, I was like, oh, it's like one of those like,
Yeah,
little, like an oven caught fire or something. And
Yeah.
then I saw the thing on the news, and I was like, oh no, that's a big fire.
Yeah, like it was like flames through the roof.
Yeah. And everyone was scared because there's a big famous gallery there, right?
Yeah.
I forget the name of it.
Yeah, I wondered because I could see it was a big fire, but it was also to do with it being where it was, right?
Yeah.
That made it newsworthy.
Yeah. Anyways, so they had to cancel because obviously, I mean,
Cortland.
Flames.
Courtauld.
yeah.
Courtauld.
To be
whatever.
honest, it took the firefighters about 3 hours to get the fire under control.
That's why.
Cray.
So it was not just a little oven I mean, we don't know what caused the fire. But yeah, unfortunately the event was canceled, and I think there was like a risk factor, even if the event was happening in the courtyard, obviously because there was smoke. Like,
yeah. And you never know. It's better to be
yeah,
safe.
and also, I mean, it just, the building was not safe to
Yeah.
be around, even if we weren't in it. So yeah, it's shame. But I think the like not major consensus, but I think when we were there, everybody was just like, thank God nobody was
Yes.
inside.
Yes.
Thank God everybody's okay. It's a shame, but at the same time, like,
It's better for people to be safe, like always.
yeah, exactly. So yeah,
I was in a fire once. Do you know this story? It's
No.
not exciting. I'm just going to tell you anyway because we're talking about fires.
oh,
But I was I stayed at my friend's house, and I was in. They weren't there, and they lent me their flat for the night
Okay.
because I need to be somewhere the next morning.
Okay.
Huh?
She's like, okay.
Yeah. And
you put a fork in the microwave.
no, and then it wasn't even the apartment that we were in, but I was watching TV and I was like, I can smell burning. And then I opened the window. It was like the top floor, and I opened the window, and it was like an L like that. So the next building over, like the next wall over, as I opened the window, was like on fire, the whole thing. And I was like, well, I should probably leave. And then I closed the window again, and then I knocked on a few doors on my way down and told people we should probably get out of the building. And then we called the fire brigade, and they came and put it out. But it was the chip shop below. One of the fryers, deep fat fryers, caught on fire, and the fire went all the way up the exhaust. You know the exhaust fence.
Yes.
All the way up. The whole thing was on fire. Like, yeah, it was actually pretty scary because it wasn't just like smoke. It was like I open it, and there's just fire up the side of the building right next to me. So I'm basically a hero. Actually, I would say
Okay.
Yeah.
that's what if
Thanks
they
for-
were to do a feature on me in the local paper, it would
Thanks for sharing.
hero or
Yeah.
savior.
So IMD won UDO.
Yes,
Yes.
they did, and UDO Worlds was this weekend.
Yeah.
Congrats to IMD.
Woo.
And I guess congrats to everyone else that won at UDO. I don't have a bunch of information from there, but I am assured by good friends of mine, namely Lewis, Harry, Lee, Kieran, people
Lee
like
was
that.
there.
Yeah, Lee was there. That it's
Thought I spotted a
UDO
headscarf.
Worlds is a whale of a time,
It.
and quite a big few day event.
Yeah.
So yeah, good shit.
Yeah. Well done to everybody, all the kids that entered.
Yep.
Go you.
Go you.
May you prosper outside of UDO.
Do you have any thoughts on the
Yes.
topic which is being argued somewhat in the music realm at the moment?
What is it?
Which is Chris Brown better than Michael Jackson?
Oh, goodness. He is very good. I do think he is underrated. I wish he would be... I don't know if he's committed any crime since the crime he committed when he was a teenager.
Yeah.
But if he hasn't...
Who, Michael Jackson, yeah?
No.
I mean, both of them, to be fair.
But, yeah, I wish he was more mainstream, Chris.
If
Like he does exist on like the peripheral. Like he should totally get a Super Bowl, in my opinion.
Oh, God. That would be really good.
He'd be so good.
I
But
think,
no, he's not, in my opinion.
yeah, I think the thing that's being argued a lot is like artist-wise is he... I mean, he gets compared to Michael Jackson a lot. He spoke about it on Drink Champs, I believe. Yeah, the thing that's been argued is he a better overall artist, blah, blah, blah.
I feel like, and Drake suffers from this, I
Yes.
think Drake is the comparative one. Like, I get creative output, but when you are just constantly releasing things, you inevitably like water down your discography.
Yeah.
I was a MJ fan over a Prince fan, and I know that Prince was one for like really putting stuff out, but different kettle of fish here, I think. And like I think Bob Dylan was another one. I'm not talking about him like he's deceased because I'm pretty sure he's still alive. But I think Drake and Chris Brown's problem for me, or my
Too much
problem with
output.
them, your albums, a couple of his albums are like
Oh, yeah, he put
20
out
plus songs long.
He put a 30 song album out once, I think. Yeah.
But I do think he is world class, but I just think the constant, and because they don't sound, they're not worlds apart. I guess with Drake, for better or worse, he's genre hopping, so
Yeah.
they're distinctive. But yeah, I don't need as much music from
Yeah,
him.
I hear you.
But I'm a fan. He's not, no. Who, is there anyone in our generation that would say that he is
I don't know
better?
who that would say that Chris Brown is better.
But it's like, also, I feel like better is such a subjective...
Well, this is what
like,
I was gonna.
yeah.
This is
Like-
what I was gonna ask, and to make it a bit more niche
Structured.
specific and structured. If we were to approach
Just like if you
it-
just shut up, I'll set it up.
yeah,
Well, you should have
Fair.
led with that.
was trying. Is should we approach it from a dance perspective? If we were to ask the question, who do we believe is a better dance artist between Michael Jackson and Chris Brown? Do we have more of a case to be?
I don't think so, just because of how big Michael's influence is on Chris.
And
But can that be held against him?
and no, but here is like a thing also.
I don't know why I did that.
It's like if you go skill for skill, which is not necessarily what we're talking about.
Okay.
I think what we're
But
talking
if we did for a second, let's say if we did, go on.
like, I don't know that there's a point skill for skill. Like, oh, this person's better than that person.
What's the point to anything? What's the point
Talking
to
my
life?
language. Yes, because you know, MJ, did he ever flip?
He did a suicide in
When
Smooth Criminal to his back, didn't he? Oh no, was that one of his when they did foot and he goes over to his back?
Yeah, he
It's the closest we
assisted.
get. Can't even land on his feet, Michael.
that video, he's like, my shoulder hurts.
Yeah. What were you gonna say? Not that you don't. If we didn't do skill for skill, then
No,
what?
but it's like, I think that the impact that Michael Jackson has had on a whole generation of people and on so many movers and on so many dancers, like, I don't think that Chris Brown even touches that.
Counterpoint.
Even if he is an amazing performer, and even with the volume of output being like much greater in proportion to Michael Jackson, it's like, I think that there was less content out there. Like, arguably there
He
was
did more with less, kind of thing.
yeah, and also it's like, maybe, you know, at the time that Michael Jackson was releasing album, there wasn't as much content out there to compete with. So it's like what did come out made a better impact. But it was such a different point in time that it's almost like apples and oranges.
But Michael Jackson had more impact because he's had more time to have impact. Like, we don't have as much distance from Chris Brown. In 30, 50 years, will Chris Brown be seeing how we see Michael Jackson?
I think even when he really, well, I wasn't really like around cognizant enough, but I think like when he released Thriller, when he really released all those things, like it did like tidal wave, I feel.
Yes.
You know, so I don't feel like culturally speaking, Chris Brown has had that.
Yeah, I don't think the landscape was there for that to really happen.
Like I've never heard, I haven't really heard people say I started dancing because of Chris Brown.
I feel like that
they would
will
be
be
younger.
the case for some people.
That's what I'm saying.
I
It's
feel
like,
it,
give it time. In 50 years, they'll be saying that. Because our age, or even like
50. Whoa.
What?
In 50 years.
Yeah, in 50 years, there'll be people that were like influenced by Chris Brown or his videos or whatever. I mean, I didn't start because of Michael. I mean, this is like my thing that I always make fun of with dance interviews when they're like, Did you start dancing because of Michael Jackson? But like, because that's everyone's go-to answer. But for me, it was like,
you did?
I didn't.
Oh, neither. It was Missy Elliott. I was convinced I could be the little white girl in the video.
Nice.
Fair.
Yeah.
Alison Stoner, really good podcast. Alison Stoner has a really good podcast.
Oh, let's go.
About being a child star. Basically.
Come on, the capsule. God, I'd kill to get RayGun on the capsule.
Won't kill, but
Well, no, I wouldn't actually kill. Depends who.
I'm sure if you asked.
She's in Europe. Put that
sure
network
she
to work.
be
but
more-
the interview she's probably getting asked. She's probably like, I wouldn't be surprised if she got asked to do like Rogan.
But I
or-
imagine she'd be more up for a community scenario than...
Should I just send her a message and go
Yeah.
for it? All right. I started dancing because of
Girls.
Yes, but like Marquez Houston, Omarion vibes. For me, it was Marquez Houston first, Omarion second. Although Omarion greatly outlasted Marquez Houston, but yeah, it was them like R&B, like
B2K vibes.
Yeah, B2K. Them days when everyone was dancing in the videos, and
best.
then You Got Served came out, and I was like, oh, here we go.
That's me.
No, You Got Served has got to be like, that's a
Yeah.
generational people that started dancing because of that,
Yeah.
like in quite a big way. Is that like the next step? So it's like Michael Jackson was the first influence. Is the next biggest generational influence You Got Served?
Really?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Like, let's say in terms of,
I think Usher's in there maybe for some people.
if we had to make a list, right, of reasons why people started dancing in terms of like largest numbers.
Yes.
So like, if we accept that probably the largest amount of people that are professional dancers started because of Michael Jackson. Is that what we're saying? Do you think?
Yeah, I think it would be a decent percentage.
Yeah.
Okay, so then who would be second, third, or what would be in the running in that
I think
list?
Missy's in there for sure.
Missy's in there.
Yeah, I guess You Got Served.
I think Usher would be one
You
of
Got
them.
Served,
Yeah, I
Usher
think
for
so.
sure. Missy, yeah.
There was also, I mean, I don't know how it was
Just
here.
Top of the Pops as a thing.
Yeah,
'Cause that's
and
when
also
you saw people dancing behind people. That was a
True.
thing for me.
Rise,
and I would-
did Rise?
I don't think Rise is as big.
You haven't seen Rise?
Haven't seen Rise.
You know, when Rise came out, we would like play music, like download it on
crumping?
LimeWire out of a car
That's hilarious.
and be like, we're doing this.
There was
Is
like,
it? It's not clowning, is it?
Yeah, it's clowning.
It is clowning. It's
came
not
from-
crump.
well, the Rise is like about how crump like detached itself from clowning
Okay,
and became
okay.
its own thing.
Right,
so it's
right,
about
right.
that period in time that like it became.
that's like Tommy the Clown is in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why everyone was like, when Kendrick did the West Coast thing, and everyone was like, why is there a clown on stage? It's like, oh, you guys are too
You
young.
don't know.
Okay, that.
But I don't think Rise was as big as the stuff that we're saying for the general public or like in our numbers wise. But also as a thing alongside maybe Top of the Pops, do we put like So You Think You Can Dance?
I don't know.
There's got to
Do
be
we?
a generation, because there was like, how many seasons of that?
I
It's
feel-
still going in the States.
Yeah, I feel like
Should it
also
be is another question.
like maybe like that would have influenced people that are younger than us because at the time that it was out, it was like I knew people that were on
I was
it.
dancing already
Yeah.
when I tuned in to.
Like I watched
So
it
You
because
Think.
I was already into dance.
Jabberwockies?
Sure.
Got to be up there. They're
Yeah.
pretty, in terms of things that have gone big.
Yeah, I mean, again,
twins.
you knew about those two before you danced?
Jabberwockies was like one of the first things I knew when I stepped into the dance.
Yeah, I don't
started
think
telling me
people are
about them.
starting dancing.
What about Save
because
the
of
Last
them.
Dance?
Oh,
Honey.
I thought about
Save the Last Dance, Honey, Step Up.
Ooh, say what, say what, say what.
And then when they do it, they're sitting on the chair. Nah. You know what my favorite line is from that movie? I always talk about this. It's my favorite line. It's in my top 10 lines in any
Save
movie.
the Last Dance?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
go on.
we
I
spoke
dance
about
in
this.
I don't
circles
know if
around
we
you.
have.
No, you messed
What?
it up. It's like when he goes, oh, like, see, he calls her like a square or like a line dancer or something like that or something. And she goes, I'll dance in circles, probably around you.
Oh, yes. And she says it like that too,
Yeah.
doesn't she?
I'll dance in
Ooh,
circles,
yeah.
probably around you. And then everyone's like, ooh.
I need to watch it again because I loved that film.
It has not aged.
It hasn't, has it? Like, outside of the dance, it hasn't aged well. It's fine.
Well, no, it was more like I remember watching this as a kid and being like, wow, like
Yes.
the dancing is so amazing.
And then when it cuts to like her feet are doing something, and it cuts back to her face and she's like,
and watching it like as an adult, it's like the movement is like,
Yes.
Okay, wait. Then let's pivot this conversation. Dance movies, not best to worst, but let's go authentic to least authentic. Like what?
Do they have to be fiction? So we're not talking about the documentary.
No, like movies. Because I would go. I think You Got Served is
I've
actually.
not seen that many, to be honest.
Well,
I haven't seen the sequel to that.
You Got Served.
Yeah.
there's this.
I
I
don't
thought
think
there
I've
was a
seen that.
sequel.
There's You Got
Am I
Served,
tripping?
Save the Last Dance, Honey. There's all
There's
the
a sequel
Step
to
Up.
Honey.
There's
Step
all the
up
step
1, 2, 3,
ups.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
There's Battle of the Year
Haven't
is a
seen
movie.
that.
What?
I've seen it with Chris Brown, actually, funnily enough.
Magic Mike.
Magic Mike, although I can't speak.
How
on it.
accurate is it? Accurate. The stripping. I'm joking.
Have you seen Magic Mike live?
No, I fell
Beat the
asleep.
World.
Oh, no one saw that.
What
Doesn't
about
look real.
Yeah, it's like a fake-
2011.
No one saw that.
Okay.
What else is there? Oh, what's the one where Chris Brown does the head slide thing and Stomp the Yard?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was like,
yeah.
wasn't there one called Stomp or something? But
Stomp the Yard. I reckon You Got Served has got, dance-wise, has got to be near the top.
Yeah.
I'd
Because
say
the actual
so.
dance in
I'd
that
say
is
You Got
actually
Served was
somewhat
sick.
legit.
LXD.
Oh yeah, League of
Not a
Extraordinary
movie,
Men.
but
Yeah,
web series.
that's very
but
good.
they were good.
I think, what's after You Got Served? I think Step Up, first one. It's not good, but
I don't remember it at all.
No, actually,
Don't
maybe
me
it's
too.
not.
It's quite far.
I feel like Step Up is the Fast and the Furious of the dance world. It's just like very,
Oh,
gets
yeah,
more
just-
and more unrealistic as they
Yeah, and don't know when to stop.
go. Yeah, when the dancing in the rain and all that is
Just
just
like-
wild.
The director like, I swear I got one more in me.
Oh, it never arrived.
Oh, it just didn't happen.
No.
Yeah, so I think You Got Served is the best.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah. I love that movie still. We should watch that again. The soundtrack to You Got Served was absolutely fire. And even then, they're like, you know, when they're going to like, when they're going to do the deliveries of the drugs, and it's like, heaven was a mile away. We should pack up our bags and leave.
What a tune.
Yeah, but like all of the, even the background stuff is like good. And Megan Good was in it.
Well, now we're just stirring away
Fancying
from
ladies.
That's what we do best.
Okay.
Cool. So we're all
Anything happening next week?
no, because I'm not here.
Oh, that's true.
To anyone else?
Well,
Yeah.
not that.
The
anyone-
world doesn't revolve around you. Just because you're not here doesn't mean the whole city stops functioning.
Okay, go on then.
Well, no, I'm asking you.
Yo, so it does revolve around me.
You're Mr. The Capsule, Mr.
You're-
I know
Around
everything.
You're Mr. the Capsule.
Mr.
I don't know about this coming weekend. So I am going to Montreal
Without me.
for Jack of all
without-
trades.
no
Yeah, without her.
way.
I'm going
Is that the first time?
all alone. Yeah. I'm staying with her mum though, which is hilarious.
That's really
and Lewis.
Yeah, me and Lewis
Oh,
were
that
going
would
to
be
stay.
fun.
Mums
Wait,
and
Lewis, Tigran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cute.
He's never been out of Europe before. How cute is that?
That's
His first long flight.
You're gonna hold his
Bubs.
hand throughout.
Yeah, it's only turbulence, mate. Don't worry.
Oof.
So yeah, we're going to Jack of all trades. I'm going to be doing some podcasts with them. Like I said, we have to kind of see what we get done while we're out there. So I don't want to promise anything that's not going to happen. But I've spoken to a few people and they're big name people, so it should be pretty dope to sit down with
Jenny
them.
Lou.
No. I'm excited to go and see the battle, see the festival. We had Ross, who is part of the organisation, stay with us, and she was telling us a lot of exciting things. And I know everyone that's been working on the organisation has like really been working hard and pulling together a lot of dope stuff.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, Joker said he's going to what's the festival in Montreal? Kairos or something?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he said he's going there. So I said I'll tell you in case you know people that you're gonna come up with, because that's in Montreal. Right?
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, by the time you go, you'll probably know as many people as I do.
Nice. It's so annoying. Yeah, and I'm hoping to dance out there. I'm hoping to meet people, to film some videos, to do some podcasts, to just, I'm hoping to do a decent prelim. That's what also, because I'm gonna dance.
Yay.
But I really want a session and get down with people and hang out and try and speak French a little bit.
Yeah, do it
before
then.
Jenny kills me.
And drink little amounts of alcohol and get very
that will help me speak French. Yeah, so that's going to be cool. The weekend after this weekend coming is Lightfest.
Oh yeah, I'm hosting that.
Oh,
yay!
there we go.
Yeah.
So you didn't know that? So
That what?
That there was something happening, even if you were involved in it.
I knew it was happening.
So before you throw the first glass house, consider the stones that you're in
In your hands.
Lightfest is going to be a light feet battle. It happens every year. It's really dope. It's in Swindon, same location as the Jam Festival, same organization. And they also have, the first day, I believe, they have popping and hip hop, which is part of the Kingdoms League. And then on the Sunday, they have the light feet stuff. They have an all-stars battle to light feet music plus light feet battles. I strongly recommend checking it out. Light feet is super fun, energetic. It's like Afro. Let me make the connection. It's like Afro in the sense that the music's good and fun, and it's the energy is like infectious, and it's dope. The performers, the dancers know how to perform. So I mean, I would throw whacking in that category as well, but even more so, like Afro and light feet are like anyone can go and just be like, oh, this is sick. And the dancers know how to like suit the music well. It's just everything. Even the music is like remixes of like popular stuff a lot of the time. So it's just light feet is very crowd friendly.
Yeah.
Light.
I should
on its feet.
I should prepare some chants.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
aren't you supposed to know the crew chants of that? It's not
Yeah,
you
I
make
know,
it
Crew?
but-
up.
Oh, they have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It'll
they
be
have
like
chants.
Jenny Lou.
Yeah, she got big boob, Jenny Lou.
Yeah, you need to write some.
Yeah.
No, not in criticism of that, but like
Oh, you should criticize that. That was horrendous.
in anticipation
Listen,
of the event.
It's just like if I'm gonna host, I feel like I should bring like some.
Like
No, but you
research.
should write to them and write to some people and figure out what's the best stuff to do. And that'd be cool. As a
Yeah.
good challenge to you, if you can.
Yeah, if I can write some stuff.
Add it to the endless list of things to do.
Yeah.
Write some chants
Yeah,
for when
if
you
I can like
host.
in the middle of submitting 3 applications this week, starting 2 jobs,
Yes.
and hosting my sister who's coming. Maybe
Your sister's coming
Yeah.
while I'm not here.
Yeah.
Vero!
Maybe in the middle of that I can write some chants.
chants for
Chants.
Light Fest.
Yeah.
I don't imagine it taking more than 5 minutes, but sure.
It's long being an artist.
Why do you have
Ain't
an
it
obsession with
just?
speaking over the microphone? Like
Why do you have an
this is how, for people that are watching, this is how Jenny spends the entire pod like this.
Yeah.
This is Jenny. So she's like, yeah, so, and then I move the mic and she goes, okay, cool. So yeah, basically, she's like a ventriloquist. She's a beatboxer.
Thank you so much everybody for tuning in. It's been a great week.
It's not the end, is it?
Yeah, let's wrap.
Let's wrap. Jenny Lou.
No, that's,
Chant.
Jenny Lou,
Okay.
tally, bam. I don't know.
it's like you need a second syllable. Tally.
Ban.
Ban. Get home safe, everybody.
That's a great way to end.
For all of you who are on the road,
Get home safe.
get home safe. For all of you who are at home, get home safe next time you leave.
Okay, so guys, I will be away. So we have the 2 interviews from Paris coming. We have some stuff from Jack of All Trades coming, and also just if you notice the back walls here for people that watch, stop it now. The people, if you've noticed the back walls are a little bit bare, it's because we're moving out of this place. This is our second. So people that have been watching for a while, this is our second. You'll have been with us throughout. No, third location.
Really?
Because we did the old place, then we did ELD in the middle, and then we did this place.
Did do
We
ELD.
ran at ELD.
Fun.
Yeah.
I remember me hanging upside down on the couch.
Is it? Yes. You just like.
So I can't do this anymore. It's a bad day.
No, but we did it in the the
Yes, we
hottest
did.
room
I
in the building
remember.
on the hottest days of
I
the
remember.
summer.
Oh, that was fun. Miss
so-
you, Lee.
Yeah. We are going to look into a new space, because also one thing I will say is that it's easier to do lots of interviews all over the place. People it's for clarity and transparency. It's not the most professional thing to like invite someone over to your actual house if they're a professional
Not
in the
a friend.
not a friend, or like there's someone that I don't know and my first thing is like, oh yeah, come over and do the pod
Deep South.
yeah, in my house, in my living room while we're making dinner, which is fine with these guys. But I think once we move to a spot that's a bit more like neutral, let's say, it's way easier for me to just bang out interviews with literally anyone. Like I'd be way more happy to just have open conversations with kind of anyone that has an interest in coming on, and well, maybe not anyone, but has a connection to the scene. And obviously I'll still need to curate it, but I'll be way more open because it will be like the location matters a lot. So so I'm looking forward to, don't do that. Thanks for don't do that. I'm looking forward to doing more things and finding a space. We're still in some conversations with people. I'm not worried. I'm sure we'll find somewhere.
Absolutely, you will.
The people won't leave us homeless for too long. And then so this is our last kind of regular cast check-in. For a little bit, there'll be a lot of interviews coming for the weeks following. We also need to do something for the 200th. This is 191. We've got 9 left.
Jeez.
Okay.
So 200th needs to be so even if we get to there with the interviews, I'll hold off and I'll make sure that we get together and do something.
We won't do our production meeting right now, but
man. We'll
sick. That's
it will involve
exciting.
alcohol. And we will celebrate the 200th episode because it's
What
been a
an
journey.
achievement. Yeah, that's an achievement, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
That is over 400 hours of us speaking. That's a lot. But thank you guys all for bearing with us.
Over 400.
Well, each of them are like between 1.5 and 3 hours. So yeah, it's probably over 400 hours of podcast.
Damn.
Thank you everyone for staying with us on the journey, for supporting us.
Thanks for having us on the journey, Lou.
Thanks you guys for definitely thank you guys, especially you two and Abe, Lee, a lot of our regular people that help propel us along. But yeah, we are, as I said last week, when I was talking about the podcast guests, we're building, and we're getting there, and we're trying to make something that can be a consistent product. So thanks for bearing with us, and I hope you've enjoyed everything that we're doing, but we are working towards a place where the capsule is going to be even fucking better than it already is, and super dope. And and also just I've been getting way more feedback these days, which I never used to get at the beginning until I asked for it. And then people would be like, oh yeah, I listen to the podcast. Like people are like coming up to me at events or like writing to me, be like, oh, I listen to the podcast. And like from crazy places, like there's a guy from Pakistan that said he listens to the pod. There's someone from Indonesia that wrote me the other day. People in South Africa that say they listen, like just crazy like places that, as you said before, it's like if you're looking at the numbers, you would never know the people behind that, but people have been commenting more, writing to me, blah blah blah. So yeah, guys, please keep that up, because it is, especially if it's positive, because it's really lovely to hear that and know that there's people on the other end of the camera. I feel like we've all, I don't know if you feel like that as well, but from when we were first doing the pod, like when it was like the three of us and Abe.
Yes.
It's almost like we were doing it for our own entertainment and we put the camera there.
Yeah.
And I feel like because of the reaction, like A, that the reels have got, but also B, that like people have come up to you and spoke to you about something you've said on the pod. It's almost like the dynamic changes because it's like, even now it's like, I know we're speaking to people.
Yeah. I mean, you'll know, like some weeks I've been like, I'm coming on.
Yeah.
Like, well, you've said it. It's just like, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Get the soapbox out because I'm about to jump on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, like just knowing that it's received well, definitely has me showing, like, it's still to come and see you guys and have that. But yeah, it is to just engage. It's another way of engaging that I really enjoy. And yeah, I'm just really...
And you have so much to share.
Yeah. That's actually one of my things that I'm most happy about with you in particular, of like the moments where I feel like you're coming to pod not for us, if you know what I mean. Like, I love that you came, especially at the beginning, like
I had so much fun.
Yeah, where we just came to like chat shit and have fun, and like that was great. But I also love the moments when you're like, because also I know you and you're one of those people, which I love you for, but like I know you won't waste time on something that you do not absolutely want to put time into. You're not like cavalier with your time. And I think like for you to come in a professional sense and be like, oh, I want to talk about this, or it's like so cool that I'm like, it's gone from like me being like, please come over, I'll buy chocolate, to like you being like, I want to come and talk about something.
Yeah, what happened to the snacks?
Yeah, we used to go, we got cussed out by that one commenter.
You're just sitting there in your sweats eating snacks.
And I was like, oh shit, that hurt.
Yes, we are.
No, we should bring back the snacks. But yeah, no, I'm happy. Like, if, you know, I'm happy that it's something that you've been able to express stuff that you wanted to express as well, not just to, you know.
No, it's been a good, not a test, because I obviously don't know who's listening, but it's obviously centered for the community that I came up in, but am like to the left of, I guess. So it's nice to train the public speaking muscle a bit, because I do it frequently, but I'm doing it to the converted or people who know me, or like the way that I communicate. So yeah, to have been received, and again for you to like welcome me on. Sometimes I'm speaking about topics, I'm like, I don't know who listening to this actually cares about what I'm saying, but at least they're entertained.
But I think, you know, the good thing about a weekly podcast and like kind of what we do with the rotating people and different guests is like, I know so many people that they'll say, oh, I listen to the pod, and I'm like, oh really? And they're like, yeah, not every episode, but like when a topic catches my eye, I'll watch it. So, and loads of people say that. And that's, guys, for listening at home, like that's totally fair. Like, I don't need you to listen every episode if it doesn't apply to you. But I think there is probably, when you're on, there's a different audience than when I'm interviewing, or when it's like me and Lee or whoever. So yeah, I think it's like, you know, you will also get your converted people. But anyway, all that to say, love you all, thank you all, and
get home safe.
Get home safe.
Love you, miss you.
I don't know why that's become your thing. Get home safe.
Get home safe. Love you, miss you.
And I'm blowing kisses.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Peace, guys.
See you on the other side. Miss you.
The move.
Yeah, the move. Okay, stop it now. Stop it.
Okay, so